The NBA is penalizing 4 players over their roles in Monday night's on-court brawl. Did you see this? The league handed out immediate suspensions for those involved in the fight between the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets.
Fists flew across the court as tempers exploded in Charlotte, turning a routine NBA game into a near riot that echoed the infamous Malice at the Palace. Players from both benches charged in, jerseys grabbed, and words hurled while referees scrambled to prevent total chaos. Just when you thought the night couldn't get wilder, another brawl erupted elsewhere, proving the league was on the edge of complete meltdown. Last night in the NBA was pure pandemonium, with fights breaking out, coaches getting tossed, and games decided by heart-stopping shots that left fans gasping in disbelief. It all kicked off in Charlotte, where the Hornets hosted the Pistons in what started as a high-energy matchup, but quickly spiraled into something far more dangerous. The Hornets came out swinging early, building momentum with sharp plays and forcing turnovers from Detroit. One highlight was a lob pass that somehow found its way perfectly to Brandon Miller at the rim, even though it looked like a miscue at first. The Pistons fired back, with Cade Cunningham showing why he's a rising star, draining shots and keeping his team in the hunt. But the real fireworks came later, as frustrations boiled over in the third quarter. Mark Williams of the Hornets had been dominating inside, but Pistons big man Isaiah Stewart, known for his intensity, wasn't having it. When a hard foul on Miles Bridges sent him crashing, Moussa Diabate jumped in, and suddenly it was a full-on scrum. Stewart, who was already on the bench after some earlier fouls, leaped back into the fray, escalating things to a boiling point. Commentators were stunned, yelling that it was out of control as players shoved and officials desperately tried to separate them. Miles Bridges and Diabate were right in the middle, faces red with anger, while Kevin Durant, no wait, that's a mix-up. It was actually the Pistons' Jalen Duren getting fouled hard, sparking the initial clash. The announcers mixed names in the heat of the moment, but the point was clear. This was teetering on disaster.
And Duren is fouled, and oh my goodness, and Moussa's upset. Moussa's really upset. I have never seen Moussa Diabate like this. Oh my goodness, now Miles and Duren and Beef Stew. This is out of control. Oh, wow.
4 players got ejected: Diabate, Bridges, Duren, and Stewart, and the league is sure to hand out suspensions, especially for Stewart, who's got a history of these outbursts. Fans in the arena held their breath, remembering the 2004 Malice at the Palace where Ron Artest charged into the stands, leading to massive brawls and long bans. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed here, with teammates pulling the hotheads apart before it spilled over to the crowd, but the damage was done. The game was forever tainted by that moment of raw aggression. Even after the ejections, the intensity didn't drop. The Hornets coach, Charles Lee, lost it over a phantom offensive foul call against Grant Williams, screaming at the refs until he got tossed as well. It was a soft whistle in a game that had already seen plenty of physicality, players banging bodies in the paint, elbows flying on rebounds. You can't call ticky-tack fouls in a battle like this. It just amps up the frustration. Detroit held a double-digit lead into the fourth, but Charlotte mounted a furious comeback, led by Miller's back-to-back threes that had the crowd roaring. The arena shook as the deficit shrank, and for a moment, it looked like the Hornets might pull off the impossible. But Cade Cunningham, with his 33 points, including clutch buckets, sealed it for the Pistons, ending Charlotte's impressive winning streak. Tobias Harris iced the game with a veteran move, sinking free throws as time expired. What a war, blood, sweat, and near fists defining every possession. And that wasn't the only fight of the night. Over in another arena, the Timberwolves and Hawks got into it too. Naz Reid and Mo Wagner exchanged words after a hard screen, jerseys got grabbed, and suddenly Julius Randle was in the mix trying to play peacemaker. But poor Jock Landale, just trying to help separate them, ended up on the bottom of the pile, looking bewildered as bodies tumbled. It was comical in a shocking way. Landale's face said it all, like he regretted every life choice that led him there. The scuffle didn't last long, but it highlighted how tense the league is right now, with players on edge from the grueling schedule. The Wolves still dominated, with Anthony Edwards dropping 30 and Randle notching a triple-double, but that brief melee stole the show. Moving to Denver, where the Nuggets faced the Cavaliers in a thriller that came down to the wire, these two teams traded acrobatic shots all night. Jamal Murray's stutter-step layup past Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell's rip-through moves, and Nikola Jokic's one-legged fadeaways that seemed impossible. Jokic, the Joker himself, was everywhere, racking up a triple-double with 22 points, 14 boards, and 11 assists. The Cavs trailed most of the game, but clawed back in the clutch. Evan Mobley's hesitation moves opened up threes for his teammates, and Mitchell's layup cut it to 1. Then came the alley-oop to Allen, who soared for a monster dunk that had everyone yelling, but Jokic answered, putting Cleveland in a timeout with his savvy plays. Tied late, Tim Hardaway Jr. missed a wide-open 3 setup by Jokic, and Mitchell drew a foul foul on the other end with under a second left. He sank both free throws, and Jokic's desperate heave grazed the net but missed. The Cavs stole a win in Denver, a place where visitors rarely escape victorious. Shocking doesn't cover it. Jokic looked stunned, and the Nuggets home crowd went silent. Down in Miami, the Jazz and Heat delivered another stunner, but this one had a twist of absurdity. Utah's coaches benched their stars, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen, in the middle of the third quarter while leading by 8. Those two had combined for 39 points already, but the staff pulled them, basically waving a white flag in a winnable game. It screamed tanking, deliberately trying to lose for better draft odds, but the bench players didn't get the memo. They fought tooth and nail, with Ace Bailey spinning through defenders for buckets and Keontae George drilling threes under pressure. Miami, led by Bam Adebayo and Andrew Wiggins, built small leads, but Utah's reserves kept responding. Down 3 with 90 seconds left, the Jazz tied it with a deep shot from George against Adebayo. Miami missed 6 of its last 7 shots, including open looks, and Bryce Sensabaugh sealed it at the line. Utah won a game they tried to throw away. How's that for irony? The coaches must have been fuming, but it shows the competitive fire in these players. You can't just switch it off. Over in San Francisco, the Warriors pulled off a miracle against the Grizzlies. Down 10 with under 4 minutes, it looked done, but Golden State unleashed a 17-0 run in a blur. Al Horford finding DeAnthony Melton for layups, Guisanos hitting threes, Moses Moody slashing to the rim. The Grizz turned the ball over on a shot clock violation, and in the chaos of a jump ball, Santos grabbed it and laid it in for the lead. Memphis had one last chance, but it was actually Cam Spencer fumbling the handle on the final play, looking indecisive as time ran out. Steph Curry went nuts on the bench, celebrating the comeback that defied logic. The Warriors' resilience turned a blowout into a nail-biter, leaving Grizzlies fans in shock. And in Los Angeles, the Lakers mounted their own rally against the Thunder, who were without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. OKC led by 11, but LA exploded for a 22-3 run in 5 minutes, flipping the script. LeBron James levitated for dunks, and Rui Hachimura chipped in key buckets. But Alex Caruso, the former Laker, haunted his old team with big threes and finishes. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren took over late. Williams with tough hooks and step backs, Holmgren with offensive rebounds and putbacks. Down 5 with a minute left, Hachimura cut it to 3, but Williams crossed over for a bucket that sealed it. LeBron missed a pop shot in the pick and roll, and OKC escaped with the win. Post-game, there was a dust-up between LeBron and someone, smiles all around, but it underscored the night's edginess, with fights elsewhere making everyone jumpy. Wrapping up the madness, we had quirky moments. Colin Sexton finally hitting a free throw after beefing with the rim in Brooklyn, Anthony Simon's shot in Orlando that rimmed out then back in like magic, and Kevin Porter Jr. taunting Desmond Bane with a tongue out after a turnover. This night was a roller coaster of violence, heroics, and absurdity, but if you think that's peak chaos, rewind 5 days to even wilder clutch endings. In one game, a team down by 15 in the final 2 minutes forced overtime with improbable threes and steals, only to lose on a half-court buzzer beater that banked in off the glass. Another saw a referee's blown call lead to a technical foul, swing momentum, and a bench-clearing argument. Players were slipping on sweat, balls bouncing off rims in freak ways, and coaches challenging every call. One ending involved a player heaving from full court after a timeout, swishing it to tie, but the replay showed his foot on the line, turning victory to defeat. Fans stormed social media, calling for investigations into officiating, while analysts debated whether the league's physicality is crossing into dangerous territory. The NBA's intensity draws us in, but nights like these remind us how quickly it can turn shocking. Fights that could end careers, comebacks that defy the odds, and plays that leave you questioning reality. With suspensions looming and rivalries ignited, the rest of the season promises more fireworks. Who knows what tomorrow's games will bring? One thing's for sure, basketball just got a whole lot more unpredictable.